Hey, everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to the Nova Aetas Renaissance Black Wars crossover. This is the Magister box that is part of the Nova Aetas Renaissance core slash stretch goal box. So these are characters that were utilized for both games, but they put in a separate little extra box here. So if you just want to use them for Black Rose Wars, you can pull them out and just add it to that, or they can sell it separately as a separate component outside of the big core box. So we're going to go ahead and look at we have 3 new mages to look at, plus their personal spells, as well as we have some new forgotten spells and evocation cards. So let's just go ahead and hop right into them. First, we're going to look at Igorix. So he was our druid character in Nova Aetas, so he had access to druidic spells. So his stat line spirit follow pretty much the same way as the rest of the Black Rose characters. 11 health, 8 hang, and then 2 attack, 2 movement, and 2 quests. So here is his miniature. So he's going to be a different color than the rest of the Black Rose Wars ones, just because he is the color for Nova Aetas, but it still works all the same. He does have, he has his own little base here that you can take off, put the other colors on there, so that's cool. They did add that, but otherwise he has the base, so he's the same height and stuff otherwise. He is also going to get a familiar, so we're going to look at him right away. He has, I always pronounce this wrong, Aetas. He gets an owl. So we've had familiars in some of the expansions for Black Rose Wars before. But he gets one, but this is his own personal one. I believe you could mix and match him with any of the other ones, or have him use one, or have the owl go with anybody else. He does get a little activation token as well for that to keep track on him. So what is his personal spell? So you got the 3 copies, of course. So he has Natural Invocation. So it's a contingency spell. So just place your mage in a green space and then summon Aetas Selecto. So he gets to summon his owl. So most of them are usually summoning other evocations. He gets to summon his ally, his familiar. And then on the other side, we have a targeted green room. Activate the room even if used. Place 2 instability. If healed, heal 1 yourself for each spell not place this effect. So if you overheal, he gets to heal back up. If you over instabilize, you get to heal, I guess would be the correct thing. And then we have this familiar who has 2 different positions. I'm not going to read all the rules for familiars. But just in case you hadn't read that, familiar is a special evocation made in someone using the room effect associated with it, or this one, his card. Has a special bond of the mage's summit. Summon his power. Used for making Black Rose to follow directions. So as of right now, he's the only way you can summon him because he doesn't have a room attached to him. But yeah, Agrex could use other familiars as well. So I'm just going to explain some different stuff on the card. So name, token. For E is its hunting skill, so if it's not attached to the mage, it has its own ability. Guarding skill, if it's attached to the mage, you put its token on there to show that, and then it has its activation, it can do that, and it can use its special stuff. It has its speed and strength when it is attacking or doing stuff, and then it has its health slots to bombs, you can keep track of those. So what its basic actions are: a mage owns familiar has access to new actions. Assault, only if the familiar is on guard position. A familiar switches to hunt position, its model is released. Flanking, only if it's in hunt, it switches to guard position. And concentration, only if it's guard position. Exhausted familiar, uses its ability, becomes active at the end of the next step. In guard position, familiar with model attached and considered one model. If they're separate, there are 2 separate ones. So guard position rules, not considered in the lodge. Its hunting skill is not active. It can sustain a mode damage, and the mode damage instead of its own of its only mage up to the number of health slots of the familiar card. Mage can freely choose how to distribute this. So if he gets damage, you can hit the familiar instead. Uses concentration action. You can use the assault action to switch to the other thing. To switch to hunting mode. And the only mage the familiar does not have its. If the familiar does not have all its health slots occupied, it remains in the room in its hunt position. So even if you die, it'll stay down the board. It's kind of cool. And this is at the end of the cleanup for the hunt phase. Familiars in one space of the only mage can move to guard position without spending a familiar action. And that's just using defeat. And that's just really cool the way these models are built. And we've seen that the other Black Rose Wars stuff. Like the Umbras even, like they just gotta sit on there so they attach. So pretty cool. So what does Aetas Selecto do for us? When he's hunting out, he says he performs an attack. If the target has no health, he has no damage, he has +1 attack. So normally, he can move 2 spaces and do 2 damage, but if they haven't been hurt yet, he does 3. Otherwise, if he's guarding you, you can spend a space of 0, you can remove 1 instability, or 2 spaces away, you can place 1. Or you can switch him to active mode and he activates. So pretty cool. Yeah, it would be kind of neat if that way to be able to summon him for anybody. But it's what it is, right? You sometimes just gotta take what you can get. Or if Agrexa had an ability that said like, oh, if he's out, he gets some other special ability. Should be kind of neat. Alright, so up next we have the Dark Mage from Nova Aetas. So this is Animor. So it's 12 health, 7 hands. So again, just swap spaces, then 2, 2, and 2. So in the game, he's basically just a dark mage character. You summon and fight in Nova Aetas. So in Black Rose Wars, what does he do for us? He'll probably have some cool destruction-y, maybe necromancy type spell. Let's see, is Necro Flame. Choosing undead that has a value of health equal to less than 3 from the evocation deck, summon it activates. So you can summon any undead character. So yeah, super powerful necromancy. Otherwise, he can inflict 3 to a room, steal 1 rose up to a max of 2. So that's pretty cool. It's another character who can utilize the undead class, which is a lot of once you start buying expansions and stuff. Our third character is the Boogeyman, or in Nova Aetas, he's the Technomancer. So this is a skeleton robot, basically. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. He has a little mask he puts on his face, he hides, but I even love he has like a mechanical leg. Lots of detail on this, although I even mentioned before, he has the bead down the back of his thing. But yeah, so he was called the Technomancer, so I'm guessing he's going to use some sort of upgrade cards. But he has 10 health, so it's less health, but he draws 9 cards. So a little bit different stats than some of those. Usually they just switch the 2 around. But it's neat to get a little bit bigger one. So he has Techno Domain, so he summons a doll in one space with no doll inside. Summon a doll in one space, no doll inside, and summon a doll with no space. One of your dolls activates. So he gets to summon these creepy little extra dolls that we get. And we get 3 of them. So let's look at the other side quick, then we'll look at theirs. So it says convert 2 damage on each mage from one of your evocations. So basically his idea is he uses the one side, spread, even other ways he can do it too, but he could potentially spread out his different dolls around, and then wherever they are, these little creatures he's created, he can then start converting damage. So then we have the dolls, which are undead constructs, which is also neat because we just had the other guy that can summon undead, so we get that. Plus, it's also a construct, so it's a neat way we get a combination of the 2 of those. So here are their little tiny miniatures. We get 3 of them. We have to move this out of the way. So they have like a gun arm. I know the Nova Aetas is a flamethrower in his arm. And then he has a little sword. And then as like a height comparison, Oops, there goes my camera. So yeah, so he's like about half the size of a person. Sorry for the boringness there. My camera just decided to fall. Alright, so what is this? What are their stats? Is what we always like to see as well. So, alright, so a doll has when a doll is defeated, before resolving the defeat, you can inflict damage equal to its attack to 2 spaces from the one it is. So it explodes. So 2 speed, 2 damage, and 2 health. That's really cool. And the fact that it's an undead and construct gives it a lot of flexibility on what we can do. Because we have undead guys like, we just saw an Animor who can summon undead guys. We have other characters that can do that. We have lots of guys that can upgrade with constructs or add upgrades to them, which is kind of cool. Alright, then we have some evocations. They're going to be tied to forgotten spells. So our first forgotten spell is going to be Cursed Lantern. It says, summon Jack. Place all other mages in the target room in their cells. It scares everyone away. That's the bad side. This is the light side. Summon Jack. Move each non-forgotten evocation in other of the other mages in the target room. So yeah, either he's going to get rid of all the characters or he's going to get rid of all your evocations. So where you summon him when you play this could be very important. Plus the fact that you can target any area. So he just pops out and scares guys. So this is Jack in the Novi Aetas is listed as Jack-o'-lantern or Scarecrow. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, he just comes up and he scares everyone away, which makes sense. He's a Scarecrow. And then his evocation stats are: when Jack is summoned, each opposing mage places one of their own trophies. Places on his card one of the trophies. Jack has +1 attack for each trophy on his card, max of 3. When a mage is defeated, remove 1 trophy on his card. As long as there is 1 on his card, Jack cannot be defeated or removed. Ooh. So until 3 guys are defeated, he can't be... He scatters stuff, and then he sticks around for a while. He's a demon and forgotten. So we have some cool stuff with the demon stuff. So there's just full artwork. And then our last one for this is the Chimera. Spawn of Echidna. Summon Chimera, one of your evocations activate. Can be him, can be somebody else. He doesn't care. He's gonna roar and set someone off. Otherwise, inflict 1 damage on each model. And that's where each model, just anywhere. Steal 2 damage. Or steal 2 rolls from each mage not defeated to this effect. So he just comes out and he doesn't even come out, just casts this and it brutalizes everyone. Nice. So what does the Chimera look like? So there's his miniature, or his card, and then there is his model. So you know, a few guys that does not have a fully round base, but he's got a snake tail, the lion head, his goat head. Again, size comparison. So he's a pretty decent sized guy. Jack was the same as any other character. Alright, so what does this do? He says, when Chimera performs an attack, choose 1, inflict 3 damage in an area, convert 4 damage on any model, or place 3 instability in a room. He has 3 spaces, 3 movement, no attack, and 6 health. So any attacks, either, yeah, he got some options there. It's just pretty cool. They didn't have anything mentioning him about being an oversized character, but he is, so he kind of fits some of them. Just spacing rules. But that's what we have for this video. So we got 3 new mages with a new familiar, potentially. We got 3 new different summons we can use. 2 are forgotten, so they're not as useful all the time, but they're definitely really powerful. But I like the fact we got the dolls as having extra little regular evocations that could be used with anybody. Adding more of those into the game is always fun. It just gives you different options for your different cards. Forgotten guys are really cool, but unless you have that forgotten spell, they're just sitting there not doing anything. Alright, so that's what we have for our Black Rose Wars Magister crossover bots. See you guys in the next video. Bye.